Hello and happy July. I wanted to come at you with just a quick real estate market update with how kind of the Atlanta metro is looking, especially if you pay any attention to national news with real estate. We continue to outperform most of the country, which is great news for sellers in our area. And buyers are still getting a little bit of wiggle room. So let me show you in month over month. So from June to May, we're comparing last month to the previous month. Our under contract did go down by 13% and closed sales went down 2.9%. Some of this is seasonality, like June is kind of the last spring month for our real estate kind of boom time. Months of supply also has gone up 10%. The good news, however, is that our months of supply is at 3.3%, and that's after this 10% increase. And that still means that we're in a seller's market. Again, compared to a lot of the country where they have 6 months or more inventory, that is not a seller's market, it's a buyer's market. So that's rough for sellers. So it's still good news here that for sellers, it is still a seller's market. However, buyers do have more negotiating power than they've had in quite some time. Year over year, if we're switching from looking at 2025 to 2024, we are up 0.6 months of inventory compared to last year. So again, still seller's market, but you can just tell, okay, it's growing in one direction. And the weakening seller's market has kind of meant several things. There's more competition, which means there's been more price reductions. Year over year, we're up to 40.9% of all closed sales had to reduce the price in order to close, and that doesn't include homes that don't sell. Days on market is up. We are up 8 days from last year, but it's still 28 days. Again, I was talking to some colleagues who are in like Austin, Miami, Florida. Their days on market is like 60, 90, over 100 days on market, and that's the average days on market. So 28 is still pretty good, pretty healthy. Sellers are getting less as a percentage of their original list price. It's down 1.2% compared to last year to 97.6%. But that doesn't mean they're getting less money. I'll come back to that. There are more failed listings that don't actually end up selling. We're up to 36.5%. And I thought this was interesting. Of any deal that closes, 65.1% of all closed deals includes seller concessions, sellers paying some of the buyer's closing costs, essentially. So very interesting. But despite all of this tightening and kind of pressure on sellers, prices are still up 4% year over year. So from June 2024 to June 2025, we're still up 4%, which is exactly the goal. Kind of in real estate, you want to see 4% appreciation year over year, and we're right at that target. So the average sold price in Atlanta is $514,845. So very interesting, but just remember that real estate is so local. So if you're looking at those national headlines, you really want to pay more attention to what's happening. This is all Atlanta metro, and it gets even more specific when you look in different neighborhoods, but I'm happy to share more. Thanks.